So, going outside is good. I don't need to tell you that we all need to touch grass sometimes. Our feeble human brains weren't meant to be sitting inside and interacting with a screen for 12 plus hours a day. I've been going through a really rough time in my personal life lately. I was venting about this to a coworker of mine. She's about 20 years older than me, and she's actually one of my closest confidants. I've only met her in person a single time. We work remotely, and she's on the opposite side of the country from me. Anyways, whenever she does give me advice, she tends to be correct. So as I'm telling her about this bad thing that I've been dealing with, she naturally tells me that I need to go outside, breathe some fresh air, and touch grass. And she's right. I knew that even before she said it. That's just one of the things that you do when you're having a tough time. Go outside. I live in a place that gets a ton of rain, and in general, I love rain. We've got this whole cozy cafe thing going on here. It's a good vibe. But sometimes you just really want to go outside, look at some trees, maybe a stream or something, see some sunlight, touch grass. It got me thinking, can you touch virtual grass? Like, is that a thing? Can you visit some virtual nature and still feel the benefits of actually going outside? I tried to look up some research about this exact topic, and I wasn't able to find too many studies that delve deeply into it. However, what does exist seems to show some positive signs that virtual nature can be at least somewhat helpful compared to not seeing any nature at all. This article from the Scientific American states that exposure to nature significantly benefits physical and mental health, and that virtual reality can replicate some of these effects, though maybe less effectively. In a study from the University of Helsinki, 100 participants were placed in a virtual reality forest for only 5 minutes. According to the results, a short break in a VR forest environment brought about a significant amount of improvement in vitality, mood, and perceived restoration outcomes such as relaxation and calmness, attention restoration, and clearing one's thoughts among the participants. There was also an interesting German study where researchers attempted to directly compare the restorative effects of a walk in the woods versus a similar virtual reality equivalent. Overall, while participants had better outcomes from the real forest walk, the virtual equivalent still led to notable positive reactions. Taken together, the current study suggests that a short virtual forest walk can increase well-being similarly to a walk in a comparable physical forest. It may therefore be a useful substitute if necessary or favored. However, we are yet convinced that substituting should be the norm, as there are various health-related reasons to go for a real walk in physical nature. But when time is scarce or mobility is limited, a VR nature experience may be better than none. Ultimately, the results are mixed, but there are some positive indicators. It seems like it's better than nothing, which is good enough for me. So yeah, let's go touch some virtual grass.
Okay, I guess let's get started.
Well, you start.
Well, like, how did you? Because I don't really know what you're wanting for this segment, you know?
Do you feel like we're even in nature?
Like, I would say it's definitely different in, like, real nature, because real nature you can, like, feel the wind, you can feel the sun, and you can even feel like the grass. I mean, like if you are walking in sandals anyway, which I'm not. If you can see, I'm not walking in sandals, but that's the point. But so it's definitely different in that regard. But there are also like some similarities. Like the feeling that I get looking at this scenery is the same feeling that I get when I'm in like regular nature. It's just it's missing some of the pieces.
It's like when we were at that, when we were cycling the other day, and you were cycling, and I was just sitting there on the bench looking ahead at the trees. I felt like I could sit there and stare at them and look at the details for a really long time. And I do kind of get that feeling here in this world too, but I think only because this world, the nature is like decently detailed. Some of the other ones we visited, I'm like 3 seconds in, I'm already bored and I want to go, which I don't think I feel with like real trees, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I also feel like in my brain, we should be able to feel this grass. It's like weird that it's not touching us.
It is kind of strange, isn't it?
So we're failing at touching grass. I also feel like the fact that it's kind of warm today almost breaks the immersion because it's like all breezy here, and I feel like
I'm dying.
You should be able to feel that. But I do feel like there's a different sensation being here than, because you know most places in VR chat anyway, I feel like they're indoors probably like 90% of the time. So I think deliberately going for the sitting outside experience feels a little bit different.
Yeah, I will say the indoor maps are more realistic than the outdoor maps, but sometimes you want to get out. But like, obviously you can't because we're in virtual reality and it's not real outside, but sometimes you want to get out of the virtual room into another virtual room that's outside.
Yeah, like, I feel like virtual reality kind of inherently there's this feeling of escapism, but it's just like a different vibe being indoors versus outdoors, or like being in a virtual space that's indoors versus outdoors, and particularly an outdoor space that's like real. There's a lot of fantastical ones or like city and cyberpunk environments, but there's not a lot of just we're sitting here in the grass and there's trees type of stuff, and I do feel like that brings a different experience.
Yeah.
I guess not a question, I have a comment. I also feel like the inherent like technical challenges make this less relaxing. How annoying was it for you to get everything working today?
So annoying. Just problem after problem after problem. Whereas, you know, for like real life, you just put on your shoes and you just go. You know?
You just go.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing casual about doing this kind of virtual reality with the face tracking and the gloves and the full body. It's just like it's just a lot of stuff, and it mostly works, but when it doesn't work, it's really irritating just to try and replicate the human experience versus just going out in your meat suit and you don't have to prepare anything.
I agree. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay. I'm just enjoying nature. Don't mind me.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? I could imagine myself falling asleep here. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like when cats like
Yeah.
go to like a little spot on the floor where like the sun has hit it and they just kind of just nap. That's me. Whenever I'm like in the sun, even like virtual sun, I'm like, I could just sit here and take a nap, you know?
I don't know if I could do that, but I get what you're saying. I think another component to it being enjoyable is there being a lot of motion. Using this world as an example, there's just a lot of like the branches are moving, the grass is moving. Whereas some worlds, even if they're pretty, there's nothing really to draw your eye. It's static.
Yeah. Sometimes in reality, like if it's not a windy day, nothing moves. I'm like, it's, you know?
I don't know. I still feel like there's bugs and people. That was it. There's bugs and squirrels and shit, you know?
Yeah, it's nice.
As you watch all of this, you might be thinking to yourself, why do I care? Maybe the weather's nicer where you're at, or maybe you're able-bodied and you go outside all the time. Maybe you like to go hiking or play sports outside, and that's all great, but what if that stops being an option?
Global efforts to limit climate change are way off track.
Today's report laid bare that climate change is happening now on an unprecedented scale.
For days, government officials pleaded with people to find safe shelter outside of the strength of these winds.
Extreme weather is becoming more intense. Floods, droughts, wildfires, heat waves.
According to a new report, experts say that we have until 2030 to avoid catastrophe. It also says if unprecedented changes are not made and made soon, there will be irreversible damage to the planet.
All right, we have breaking news now. Let's get to it. It has to do with COVID-19. And the World Health Organization has just declared a global coronavirus. It is a pandemic at this point. Let's talk about what that means. The criteria of a pandemic describes the worldwide spread of a new disease, involves a new virus against which most people do not yet have any immunity. Virus can infect people easily and spreads person to person. We are seeing those things. It implies efforts to contain an outbreak in a region or country have failed.
Most of the world went into lockdown during the COVID pandemic beginning in March of 2020. That was also coincidentally when VR chat's popularity began to grow. After an initial peak during the infamous Ugandan Knuckles meme in 2018, VR chat's player count was basically stagnant for 2 whole years until suddenly people weren't allowed to go anywhere. If you ask people when their interest in virtual reality started, a lot of them will tell you that they became curious during the pandemic. In Ernest Cline's 2011 novel Ready Player One, nearly everyone spends most of their time in a virtual reality metaverse known as the Oasis. Ready Player One is set in a near-future dystopia, taking place in the 2040s. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Ready Player One for a variety of reasons that we won't get into in this video, but when I first heard of this concept, one thing that stood out to me as being nearly guaranteed to be mirrored soon in real life is that when the outside world gets shittier, people will turn to virtual alternatives. What is the world going to look like in 2040? A New York Times article by Coral Davenport covering a recent report from the IPCC reads, "The report, issued on Monday by the IPCC, a group of scientists convened by the United Nations to guide world leaders, describes a world of worsening food shortages and wildfires and a mass die-off of coral reefs as soon as 2040, a period well within the lifetime of much of the global population. Avoiding the most serious damage requires transforming the world's economy within just a few years," said the authors, who estimate that the damage would come at a cost of $54 trillion US. This article was written in 2018. And the years after it was written, yeah, let's just say that we're headed in a pretty bleak direction. As I've been working on this video, I've been following the possible super El Nino event that might be occurring later this year. Scientists are concerned about the consequences it could have on global weather patterns, including the likelihood of 2027 being the warmest year on record, writes Simon King for the BBC. Some forecast data is even suggesting that the temperature rise could exceed 3 degrees Celsius, surpassing the current known peak of 2.7 degrees Celsius recorded in 1877. That El Niño lasted around 18 months, which triggered a catastrophic global climate event, causing extreme drought and widespread famine across Asia, Brazil, and Africa, which killed millions, while producing severe flooding in other regions like Peru. A brutal heat wave is currently hitting India, and I keep seeing these distressing comments on my Reddit feed. It's nightmarish here in Delhi. It's literally like being flamed. I got sick recently in this peak Indian summer. I was not running, I was not working at a construction site, I was not climbing a mountain or doing anything extreme. I just went outside and existed in the heat for some time, and my body started asking for water again and again and again, as if some internal alarm had gone off. Went to get something this afternoon, and I regretted it immediately. The heat was unbearable. It felt as if my skin was burning. And with the current climate change, it's only going to get worse. Because if this is weather, I don't feel like doing anything. Have to stay in the air conditioning all day long. It's also causing changes in my mood. I get angry very fast nowadays. Yeah, things aren't looking great. Our best years are probably behind us, but people live on, and we're never going to stop seeking fun and joy and connection. When going outside becomes less of an option, more people are going to turn to virtual alternatives. While it may be depressing to think that you may not have as many opportunities to touch real grass in the next decade or two, I'm honestly grateful that these virtual alternatives exist. It's genuinely shocking to me how real virtual reality can feel at times. As people continue to research this topic, I won't be surprised to see more evidence showing that virtual reality can function as stress relief in a similar way to going outside can. And to be honest, I love hanging out in VR. Something about it just takes my mind off of everything bad going on in the real world. But at the end of the day, nothing can really replace the great outdoors, so if the sun is shining wherever you are, maybe go take a walk today, while you still can.
I'm gonna say something really delusional.
Yeah.
Does it feel cooler here, listening to the water, or is it just me?
I think you're losing it, babe.
I swear on my life, I feel cooler here.
Maybe a little, yeah.
I have my mirror up so I can see the water behind us, and I really could stare at this water, like, all day long, to be honest. I feel like the addition of, like, butterflies, and I just saw a bird fly by, that really, like, sells the immersion a little bit better. It's like, trees are great, but animals are better.
Animals are better than trees.
I have a question for you.
Yeah?
Most VR chat worlds have music. Do you think that helps or hurts the, like, restorative thing we're going for right now?
I think it helps.
I mean, we've been sitting here in this world for probably at least 10 or 15 minutes now. Are you feeling relaxed? Are you relaxed yet?
Yeah. I'd be more relaxed if it wasn't summer. Other than that, I would say I feel relaxed. Much better than at the start of all this when I was having so much technical issues. And now I'm in here and I'm like, ah, yes, this is why I put up with all this for VR chat.
So yesterday we're playing games, you know, and I have to be honest, for like half that time, I was really stressing about work. Like I was just thinking about it nonstop. And I feel like in VR, I don't know what it is about the experience. And it's ironic because we're not even doing anything mentally stimulating. We're literally just sitting here. For some reason in VR, I feel like it's somehow impossible for me to start thinking about work or family or all that other stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way. It's like so immersive that I just like forget about the bad things about real life sometimes.
It's weird though because it's also like uncomfortable. My head is like sweating and my gloves are also like drenched in sweat, and we've been filming for so long that I'm like, this is exhausting, and yet I'm still like really present when we're here, even though again we're doing nothing.
Yeah, it's nice though.
Here's like a thought, and maybe someone can study this someday. Does it even have to be virtual nature? Or do you think people get like the same benefits even if they were in some of the other just like aesthetically pleasing virtual environments? I guess it's just like, I do feel more relaxed right now and like really immersed and pretty happy, to be honest, but what I mean is, I feel like as I'm reflecting on all the times we've played together, and to be honest, I actually feel this way every time, even if we're not like in virtual nature.
Yeah, I would say for me, I can feel this happy in any world. It doesn't have to be a nature world. But there's something nice about the nature worlds in particular. Like I would say, most of the VR chat worlds that are popular are like cozy worlds, like dark lighting and stuff. So it's nice to be in a world that has like sunlight. Like, I'll use that world creator Finn's for example. His worlds tend to be very vibrant and colorful and bright and like really good lighting and sunlight. Aside from District Roboto, but I don't know, it's still pretty vibrant. It's just not sunlight, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, the point being, that type of dynamic lighting, and vibrant and bright lighting changes my mood differently than like some of the sleeping worlds, you know?
Would you recommend, like say you're talking to someone and they're sad or stressed or whatever, and for whatever reason they can't go outside. Either they live in a place with no, good outdoor activities, or maybe they're disabled, or it's raining, they can't go outside. Would you recommend this to them? Like, would this be a solution?
I wouldn't say a solution, but I definitely recommend this. Like, I think it could help.
Do you think it would be okay if someone could go outside if they wanted to, but they choose to do this instead? Do you think that's bad, or do you think it's like fine?
No, I think that's bad. Go touch some real grass.
Okay. Touch some real grass. Okay.